Hey guys, it's Coach Hammock coming to you from beautiful Georgetown, Texas, here in room 122 at Benold. Hoping you're having a great day. Gonna have a new video. Hopefully you've finished up your test. If you haven't finished up your test, I will be here tomorrow morning um, before school, and hopefully we can get all those done. Shouldn't be too much longer on that. All right. So we're going to keep moving. Today we're going to be looking at solving equations using cross products. All right. By the way, that's a picture of our square, just in case you didn't know that. So here we go. So first thing we need to understand about cross products is we're dealing with proportions. And you all remember that proportions are what? They are two ratios that are equal. So when we talk about that, we're talking like 1/4 is equal to 2 whats? That's right, 2/8. Okay, so we have one ratio over here, one ratio over here. Both of them are equal to each other. So now, one of the ways that we can solve this is we use cross products, or sometimes called the butterfly method. All right, so if we have a blank, where using our example from before, x over 4 equals 2 over 8, we're going to use this cross products. We're going to multiply the numbers that are across from each other, right like that. And we're going to come up with 8x equals 8. Divide by 8, divide by 8, x equals 1. And remember that we can also go back and we can check that by putting a 1 in and making sure that it works. All right. So, how are we going to do this? Well, this is pretty much the same question that I just asked you, just with different numbers. So, we're going to solve the proportion 5 over y equals 15 over 75. So, we write the original, and now we're going to use what's called the cross products property. And that's just a fancy way of saying you're going to take the 5 and multiply it. Let me change colors real quick. Blue is fine. 5 times 75 and the y times 15. So when we simplify this out, this is the easy side. That's just going to be 15y. Let's see, 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 35, 36, 37. 375 equals 15y. All right. So now all that we're going to do is we're going to divide each side by 15. Well, if we divide this side by 15, all we're left with is y. If we divide this side by 15, we're going to be left with 25. So our solution is going to be 25. And you probably figured that out just by looking at it. You can go 5 to 15 is times 3. And so some number times 3 needs to equal 75. And so y is 25. Right there, put a box around our answer. So of course it's going to be a little bit more complicated for you, and we're going to come up to something like this. 6 over b equals 3 over b minus 2. Now before you freak out, this is going to look exactly like the problems that we just got done doing. All right, because if you think about it, if we're using the butterfly cross product method, I'm going to rewrite this. It's going to be 6 times what's down here, b minus 2. And that's going to be equal to 3 times b, or just 3b. Now, this looks a lot better than this does, but it's all the same. So if we distribute this out, 6b minus 12 equals 3b. Okay. Next step, we have our b isolated over here, and there's no constants, or there's no numbers with it. So I'm going to move this one over there. Normally I would want to keep it positive, but in this case I'm just going to move it over there. So I'm going to go minus 6b minus 6b. And I'm left with negative 12 equals negative 3b. Next step, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. b equals 4. So if we put that back in here, let's see what we come up with. 6 over 4 equals 3 over 4 minus 2. Well, if I reduce this down, it can be 3 over 2 equals 3 over 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. So this answer checks out, and it works great. All right. One of the questions that we've had in class from a few people is, how do you know which side you need to move things to? And it really doesn't matter. Once you get to this, I'm going to rewrite that. 6b minus 12 equals 3b. And before I moved the 6b to the other side, this time I'm going to move the 3b over. I'm going to go minus 3b minus 3b. And that's going to give me 3b minus 12 equals 0. And I have to add 12 to both sides to try to isolate it away from the b, or our variable. 3b equals 12. Divide both sides by 3. b equals 4. So as you can see, it doesn't matter which side you solve for, which side you move the variables to, you still come up with the same answers on both sides. So let's do one more example and then we'll be done for the day. 2 plus 2x divided by 4 minus x equals 2 cubed. Now let's make this look a little bit cleaner, a little bit better. I'm going to go 2 plus 2x over 4 minus x equals, well, 2 cubed is 8, and I'm dealing with fractions, so I can just go 8 over 1, right like that. Now it's going to be pretty easy. When you look at this, if I multiply the top times the bottom here, remember, anything times 1 is itself, so it's just going to be 2 plus 2x. And now if I multiply the other way, going this way, that's going to equal 8 times 4 minus x. Distribute property and rewrite. 2 plus 2x equals 32 minus 8x. Now, I'm going to isolate my variables together. And this is just the way that I do this. You can do it either way you want. But this is a negative. I like to keep my variables positive because it's easier to work with for me individually. You might say, I can just subtract 2x. That's fine. There's nothing that says you can't do that. It's just a matter of preference that I try to end up with positive variables. I just think it's less mistakes I can make later on. So this is going to be 2 plus 10x equals 32. And now it's a pretty simple two-step problem. Subtract 2, 10x equals 30, divide by 10, x equals 3. Now don't forget, if you wanted to go back and check this, I'm going to rewrite it. Let's do this. Let's go 2 plus 2, and then I'm going to put the x value into parentheses. It's going to equal 2 cubed. That's going to be divided by 4 minus 3. Well, let's see. 2 plus 2 times 3. Order of operations says 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. Over 1 equals 2 cubed. And that works. So I know that my answer, x equals 3, is correct. Alright guys, well that's it for tonight. We're going to work some problems out on this tomorrow. Don't forget your whisk on this. You've already watched it. Summarize what you've learned, and then if you have any questions, bring it in. Also, I'd like to see some of y'all come up with a question that I could ask the class in our warm-up. Alright, well, hope you have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.